guys, today I noticed that my beef stew, my canned beef stew is running low. So I'm going to can some more beef stew. What you're going to need is about 5 pounds of stew meat. And I just buy the boneless beef chuck roast and cut it up. You're going to need about 3 cups of onions. You're going to need about 7 cups of carrots, about 10 cups of potatoes. You're also going to need vinegar for wiping your rims of your jar. You're going to need salt. You're going to need pepper. You're going to need your pressure cooker. You're going to need your jar getters. And you're going to need a bubble remover, your clean lids, and you're going to need rims. And we're going to wash our jars and get them ready. Make sure that your knife is sharp. And we're going to cut into about 1-inch chunks. So, about like that. Okay? We've got our 5 pounds of stewed beef cut up. Now to our potatoes. Okay, I have washed my potatoes, and I am going to leave the skins on. These are white potatoes, so the skin is not too thick. So I'm going to leave the skin on for nutritional value, and we're going to go ahead and chop it and get 10 cups. Okay, as I'm chopping, I'm going to put it into my measuring cup so that I will know exactly how much I've got when I've chopped. Like I said, I scrubbed these potatoes really well. And we're going to cut in like just little cubes. And you can make them as thick or as thin chunks as you'd like. Okay, here's 4 cups. This is 8 cups. And our last 2 cups, that makes 10 cups. Here's all our potatoes. Okay, we're going to peel our carrots. We're going to need 7 cups of carrots. Okay, here's 4 cups of carrots. We need 3 more. Okay, last 3 cups, so that makes 7 cups of carrots. Ready to go. Okay, now we're going to need 3 cups of onions. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut in big chunks like this. Okay. Right, there's our 3 cups of onions. Our vinegar for wiping our rims. We've got our 5 pounds of beef. We've got our 10 cups of potato, 7 cups of carrots, 3 cups of onions, and we have our salt that's going to go in each jar. We also have 3 quarts of water in our canner, and it is cool. We're not going to turn it on because we are packing raw. We also have our water that we're going to add to each jar, and it's just normal water, and it's not hot, okay? So everything is going to be room temperature. All right, guys, now it's time to start filling our jars. So we're going to get each jar, and we're going to start with our meat. We're going to start with our meat, and we're going to put it on the bottom of each jar. So we'll do little stations until we fill all of our jars. Now we're going to go next with our potatoes. We're going to put a handful of potatoes. Like I said, it's not measuring really. It's just eyeballing it. Because you got to remember, you got to have room for carrots and onions. Can y'all see each jar already, Belle? Let's get you a little bit closer here. Okay. I think we got enough potatoes in that one. Okay, now we're going to start with our carrots. And we got to remember we have to have room for our onions. So carrots, isn't that pretty? I'll go ahead and do a little bit of onion. So that jar is ready. Carrot, onion, Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I have my Cannon Pickling salt. You can use whatever kind of salt you want to use. And we're going to put 1 teaspoon in each jar. Now, we will add a little bit of pepper to each jar as well. Now, you can add other seasonings if you want to. I don't particularly like to add seasonings until I get it out of the jar and heat it up. But when we get through cooking this, you will be able to sit it on your shelf. 18 months is what FDA says. I say 4 or 5 years. But if you decided one day you wanted to come home and the power was out and you wanted something for supper, you could open the jar and eat it out of the jar. I mean, it's good. So, let's get ready to put our water in now. We're going to fill each jar up with this water to 1 inch headspace. Okay? And then we're going to go back and we're going to get all the bubbles out. We're going to make sure we have no bubbles. What you're going to do is you're going to take your debubbling tool, and you can use anything that's plastic, like plastic knife, anything that you want to use, okay? And you just go around and make sure you've got all the bubbles out of the jar. Since we're pressure canning, then you're going to push back down lightly, and we're going to do that to each one of the jars. Anytime you're pressure canning, you want to make sure there are no bubble pockets, air pockets, that could cause the jar to rupture. This is what they look like before you put them in the canner. All right, now, previously when I did my chicken, nobody knew what the vinegar was for. And I showed them, but that's okay. That's all right. The vinegar is in this. We're going to put it on a clean paper towel, and we're going to wipe the rim, okay, of every jar. And what that does is it gets any salt, any dust, any particles from the fat, anything on it that might keep it from sealing. And what we're going to do now is we're going to place our lids and our things. These are not hot because we don't have a hot jar and we don't have hot food in it. So everything's starting the same temperature. Okay? Just so you understand. Okay, now we're going to put each rim on. Okay, like I said, we've got 3 quarts of water in here. I just turned the burner on, and we're going to load our jars in here. Okay, we've got 7 jars, and now we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to bring our pressure cooker up to steam. Okay, the steam's been coming out for 10 minutes, and we're going to put the weight on, and we're going to let this come up to 10 pounds of pressure, and when it does, we're going to turn our timer on to 90 minutes. Okay, our pressure has reached 10 pounds. We're going to start our timer at 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we're going to keep it on 10 pounds of pressure. Okay, our timer is off. We're going to turn, we're going to turn the timer off, and we're going to move our pressure cooker from this eye over to this eye and let it cool completely before we open up our canner. Okay guys, we got 10 quarts of beautiful beef stew. Y'all try this. Nana loves you.